I always thought I'd be the last person to be fooled like this. You know those stories you hear from friends or read about online? The ones where someone gets cheated on and all the signs were right there in front of them, but they miss them anyway? Yeah, I used to think, that could never be me. I paid attention. I was thoughtful. I was, or at least I believed I was, someone you couldn't fool so easily. But I was wrong, and I learned it the hard way. My name's Jake. I'm 29. I work in logistics, and I've been in a relationship with my girlfriend Clara for a little over 3 years. We met through mutual friends at a Halloween party. She was dressed like Catwoman, and I was some half-assed version of Indiana Jones. Somehow, between drinks and candy bowls, we hit it off. She had this mix of confidence and playfulness that made you feel like she was always in control, and you'd thank her for it. She worked in corporate marketing, the kind of job that comes with last-minute meetings, frequent travel, and high-stress deadlines. I respected her hustle. I admired how she carried herself in a room full of suits, even though half the time I barely understood what brand alignment across verticals actually meant. She made it sound important. Our relationship was mostly smooth. We had the occasional arguments, mostly about time. I wanted more of it with her. She said she was building a career. Fair enough. I didn't want to be the guy who stood in the way of someone's ambition. I was raised better than that. But looking back, the cracks started to show about 6 months ago. She started traveling more. Short trips, 2 or 3 days at a time. Boston, Seattle, Chicago. Always with little notice. She claimed there was some reshuffling in her department, and she had to pick up the slack. I asked questions, sure, but nothing too probing. She always had answers. Sometimes she even sent photos from her hotel room. Food on the table, laptop open, TV on in the background. Totally normal. And then, one Friday evening, everything changed. Clara had left for a supposed 2-day seminar in San Diego. I remember waving her off at the airport. She looked tired, but she kissed me twice before leaving, which felt oddly sweet, even for her. That night I was home alone, scrolling through my phone on the couch, sipping a beer, half watching some reality show I didn't care about. Out of sheer boredom, I opened up a dating app I hadn't used in ages, not to meet anyone, just to see how bad people's bios still were. Like a sick little curiosity. I know what you're thinking. Why would a guy in a committed relationship still have a dating app on his phone? Honestly, I forgot it was there, but I never deleted it. It was like some digital fossil buried under folders and old games. I opened it, let it load, swiped left a few times, laughing at someone's bio that said CEO of my own life. And then I froze. There she was. Clara, same name, same smile, same damn freckle near her left eye. Different city. The app said San Diego. In town for the weekend was her bio. I stared at the screen for what felt like 10 straight minutes. I thought maybe it was a joke. Maybe someone had stolen her photos. I even showed it to my best friend Nate the next day, and he gave me that look, the one that says, "You know what this is." I didn't confront her right away. I couldn't. I spent that entire weekend obsessively checking the app. Her profile stayed up. I even made a burner account just to see if she'd respond to me anonymously. She didn't, but her location changed. Downtown San Diego, then closer to the beach. It was real-time movement. When she came back Sunday evening, I acted like everything was fine. She hugged me. She smelled like sea breeze and sunscreen, which was weird for a marketing seminar. She was more cheerful than usual. We sat on the couch and she told me about some networking brunch that apparently had free-flowing mimosas. I nodded, but inside something was unraveling. Over the next few days, I tried to make sense of it. Maybe she was just trying to feel desirable. Maybe she hadn't actually met anyone. Maybe I was overreacting. But I couldn't shake the image of her face smiling at me through the screen. The profile didn't lie. So I dug deeper. I checked her laptop when she was in the shower. No dating app, of course, but I found a second email account synced to her browser. The tabs included searches like Best Rooftop Bars San Diego and Fun Things to Do for Couples. I found Uber receipts, photos she didn't send me. But the real gut punch came from a Lyft ride log. It showed a pickup from her hotel and drop-off at a private residence. Twice. Same address. I Google mapped the house. It was a beachside condo with huge glass windows and a red Jeep parked outside. I didn't know what to do with that, so I did nothing. For 2 weeks. But the distance grew. I couldn't pretend anymore. One night while we were watching a movie, I paused it halfway through and asked her if we could talk. She gave me that wary glance people give when they know something's coming, but hope they're wrong. I told her what I saw, the profile, the dating app, the location tags. She didn't even deny it at first. She just blinked. Then she asked me how I saw it. Not, it's not true, not I can explain. Just how did you see it? And that told me everything. The truth unraveled slowly, like some grotesque magic trick. She'd been seeing someone else on and off for a couple of months. They met during a networking event, which I now know was code for hookup. She said it didn't mean anything, that it was just physical, that she didn't love him. She cried, said she hated herself for it. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just sat there. The walls of our apartment suddenly felt like they were pressing in. She begged me not to leave, said she wanted to fix things, that she'd end it, that she'd delete everything and never speak to him again. But I couldn't hear her anymore. I was watching a memory die in front of me. That night, I packed a bag and left, stayed at Nate's place. She texted me every day for a week. Long paragraphs, voice messages, photos of us together with, "Do you really want to throw this away?" captions. And I didn't know the answer, because part of me still loved her, but part of me couldn't trust her anymore. And love without trust is just pain with a pretty face. The days after I left Clara were some of the strangest of my life. Everything felt suspended in air, like the world was going on, but I was frozen mid-step, just watching. Nate offered to let me crash at his place as long as I needed, and though I appreciated it, the couch eventually became suffocating. Not because of him, but because I couldn't escape the silence in my own head. I'd look around at his apartment, beer cans, unwashed dishes, ESPN humming in the background, and I'd envy his simple chaos. He wasn't perfect, but at least his life wasn't burning from the inside. Clara kept texting. At first, I ignored everything. Hey there, I'm glad to see you on my channel. Make sure to subscribe as we post amazing stories every single day. Then one night, maybe out of weakness or maybe just to torture myself, I started reading her messages. "Jake, please just talk to me. I know I messed up, but we were good together. Don't let this be the end." I didn't mean for any of this to happen. It started stupid. It wasn't supposed to go anywhere. I've cut him off. I swear. I'll prove it to you if you just give me a chance. I didn't reply. But the truth? I wasn't angry anymore. I was just tired. disoriented, like someone had shaken the foundation of everything I thought I knew, and now nothing made sense. How do you look at someone you loved? Someone who kissed you goodbye before work? Someone who made pancakes on Sundays? And now see a stranger? I started doing things alone. Took long walks, went to the gym more than usual, drove aimlessly at night with music blasting, letting lyrics say the things I didn't know how to. Sometimes I'd park outside our old apartment building without even realizing I'd ended up there. My hands would grip the steering wheel until my knuckles went white. I was grieving. That's what it was. You don't just mourn people when they die. You mourn the version of them that lived in your head. And the Clara I loved, she was gone. But one night, about 3 weeks after everything blew up, she asked to meet in person. Just once. To talk. No pressure. I almost said no, but curiosity, or maybe stupidity, won. We met at a quiet coffee place we used to go to when we first started dating. I got there early, sat at a corner table. My heart thudded in my chest like I was waiting for a job interview. When she walked in, she looked exactly the same. Black coat, hair down, tired but still radiant in that effortless Clara way. She sat across from me and didn't speak for almost a full minute. She just looked at me, and then she said, "I don't expect forgiveness, but I need you to know I never stopped loving you." I didn't answer. She went on to explain how everything spiraled. Said she felt disconnected from herself, from us. That work made her feel invisible, and being with someone new, even briefly, made her feel seen again. "That's not your fault," she said. "It's mine. I was weak. I should have come to you. I should have said something." She cried and I sat there, emotionless, watching her crumble. I didn't feel superior, just hollow. Then she said something I didn't expect. "I've started therapy. I'm trying to understand why I sabotage things when they're good. I don't want to be that person anymore." That hit me differently, because in that moment, I believed her. But belief isn't the same as trust, and trust is earned, not promised. I thanked her for meeting, told her I appreciated her honesty, but I wasn't ready. Maybe I never would be. I told her I needed space, real space, and I walked away. The months that followed were slow but necessary. I started rebuilding my life, moved into a small apartment across town, took up journaling, something I never thought I'd do, wrote down every messy, contradictory emotion I had. Sometimes I wrote letters to her I never sent. Sometimes I wrote to myself, reminding me that I deserved better. Nate dragged me to social events, tried to make me laugh again. It wasn't easy, but over time, I began to feel like a person again, not the ghost I'd been living as. Then one random Tuesday, I saw her again. I was at the grocery store, aisle 4, holding 2 kinds of peanut butter and completely lost in indecision. I looked up, and there she was. No makeup, hoodie, hair in a messy bun. She looked human, not like the unreachable, perfect version I once worshipped. She smiled awkwardly. I nodded. "Hey," she said softly. "Hey." We talked for 5 minutes. Small stuff. Work, weather, life. No heavy emotions, no tears. Just two people who used to know each other deeply, now navigating the wreckage. Before she left, she said, "I'm glad you're okay." And I was. Not healed completely, but okay. Looking back now, I realize that betrayal doesn't always come wrapped in fury. Sometimes it's quiet, subtle, a slow erosion of trust until it all gives way at once. But here's what I learned. You can love someone and still leave them. You can forgive them and still never go back. And you can lose something that mattered and still rebuild something better in its place with time, with intention, with yourself. It's been almost a year now. I don't check dating apps for fun anymore. I deleted hers and mine permanently. And these days when I dream at night, it's not of Clara. It's of peace, of a future where I don't have to wonder who's telling me the truth. Just a quiet morning, coffee in hand, a breeze through the window, and no lies between the sheets.